In today's episode of the Leica Podcast.
Well, Kodachrome was a great film. It's probably the best film ever made.
I'm really interested about your hunger for visual storytelling. Do you think that will ever be satiated?
I can't imagine not doing what you love.
If you could go back to the first time you picked up a camera, what would you say to yourself?
Don't just wait for the peak situation, but just shoot your daily life. Shoot your daily life. You know, you have to practice. Practice makes perfect, day after day, year after year. There's one place in particular in Mandalay, which I find myself being drawn back to over and over again. It's a workshop. It's a brass statue workshop, and they make brass Buddhas. And for some reason, I keep going back over and over again.
Hi, everyone, and welcome to How I See, the Leica Podcast. I'm your host, Louise Goldstone, and it's a pleasure to be joined by Steve McCurry here at the Leica Headquarters in Wetzlar, Germany. Welcome, Steve. Thank you so much for being here. It's a great pleasure.
Great to be with you.
You don't really need an introduction, probably being one of the most renowned photographers in the world. But how would you describe yourself?
Well, let's see. How would I describe myself? Well, I would say that I'm been photographing for 50 years. I have a daughter who's 9 years old, so a lot of my time is spent on with her and my wife. And I still travel as much as I ever did otherwise. So it's great. I feel good. I'm healthy. And I'm going to various countries this year, India, be throughout Europe.
Yeah.
Life is good.
Well, it's a great honor to have you here today. Just talking about your photography, humanity is at the core of what you do, really. Traveling, observing, photographing it. What did you learn through all of this about the world?
Well, I started traveling when I was 19, and my ambition really was to see the world. I'm very curious about other cultures. I wanted to go everywhere. I wanted to go to, all over Asia, Africa, Europe, South America. So that was really what my kind of aim was. But what I've really come to discover was that all these cultures and countries, that there's this commonality of humanity, and that we all share so much of human nature is universal, and that it's wherever you are, people are pretty much the same anywhere. But we have different religions, different customs, and so that's fascinating. You go from sort of Hinduism to Buddhism to Islam to Christianity to Sikhism to there's all these different kind of religions. And along with their that culture that comes with it, so that's been fascinating to really kind of delve into those different ways of life, and then to go to places like the Himalayas and Nepal and Tibet. So it's been absolutely fascinating. I mean, I don't think there's anything more important in life than traveling and seeing other parts of the world, meeting other people, and understanding again that people are essentially the same.
Yeah, absolutely. You started your job as a photographer at the Sun in Philadelphia. What did shooting news teach you about what you wanted to become as a photographer?
Well, after working on a newspaper for 2 years, what I came to realize was I definitely don't want to work on a newspaper anymore. It was very confining and very, I wanted to be free, have no restraints, be able to spend as much time as I wanted on a story or a set of pictures.
Yeah.
And the newspaper I worked on, I was dashing here, dashing there, spending 5 minutes here, and it was not very satisfying. So after I sort of learned a little bit, made some money, I immediately got a one-way ticket to India and never looked back. That was my kind of dream was to travel and to get out of my hometown.
Yeah. You've traveled to countless countries. You mentioned India, all 7 continents. Is there a place you love to return to again and again?
Well, the places I find myself returning over and over again are places like Burma and India. Italy I go to Italy 2 or 3 times a year for various reasons. But I'm really drawn to Asia. That's really been my kind of beat for all throughout my career. I mean, Afghanistan, all over South Asia, into Southeast Asia. That's really the area that I'm really kind of inspires me, I would say.
Where did that desire to travel come from, do you think?
Yeah, how did I get that desire to travel? I think it's kind of a mystery. There was nobody in my family that really traveled. And I think I just got this idea that I wanted to, after high school, live in Europe for a few months. It turned into a year. And after that year, I was doing kind of odd jobs, traveling around. I went back to college and decided that whatever profession I ended up doing, I want to travel to be part of it. I wasn't yet a photographer. And then when I thought filmmaking would be interesting. And but then filmmaking seemed a bit more complicated than I was really ready to get involved with. And then but photography seemed much more immediate, less, it was more attainable. Yeah. And so I just thought, this is what I'm going to be, a photographer.
Incredible. From seeing the photo essay in Life magazine, which you reference a lot, to shooting those monsoons in India, did you have a moment of thinking, I can't believe I'm here doing this right now?
Well, there was often a feeling that, this is like a dream.
Yeah.
Or this feels like a movie set, or how can this be real? I'm here sleeping in a Tibetan monastery, under the open stars, and it was like, wow, this is incredible.
Yeah.
But it was a lot of work. I mean, a lot of work. I spent several years, staying in cheap hotels, taking buses, 3rd class train travel, eating in kind of stalls off the street. It was a lot of work, a lot of, but I always say that you have to practice. Practice makes perfect. You have to, and I just, day after day, year after year, I just was, I was dogged in my persistence.
Yeah, absolutely. And you can tell those photographs of your legs from wading through the water and the
leeches
post.
And oh my God, yeah.
Incredible. Stepping off that plane for the first time in India, what was that experience like?
Well, it was kind of a shock. I remember, getting off the plane, collecting my 200 rolls of Kodachrome and trying to get that through customs, and they're looking at me like, what are you, smuggling film or what's going on here? And then getting out of the airport and then taking a local bus to a place where I didn't know where I was going to be staying with my girlfriend. And we just got on this bus, got off at a particular place, and we're just, then we're like, where do we go? So we were kind of jumped in head first without any preparation. But we finally found our footing and found our way and just kept persisting.
Yeah, totally different to travel nowadays. The knowledge that you can get and receive prior to travel is completely different to then, I'm sure. In your documentary, you say that you print everything you think is important. What does that process look like?
I think photographers should print all of their work, everything they want to last. They should have at least a couple copies. So I print thousands of pictures that I've worked on, that I've printed, as kind of my legacy. I don't want my pictures in a hard drive or in a computer. I want them on a piece of paper. I think that's the best way to preserve your legacy. So I'm a big believer in. I have 3 printers in my office. We print every day. I'm doing a book now, and we do proofs.
Amazing.
Doing exhibitions, we print the pictures from the exhibition. So yeah, I'm a big believer in printing.
Yeah, absolutely. Do you consider photography to be a universal language, whether it's through the book or through printed form or seeing it in some way? Does it become a universal language?
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you have a book with, pictures, you show it to anybody, anywhere, and they'll look through the pictures, they'll get it, they understand it, they'll laugh or cry or have some emotional response to it. So yeah, no, photography definitely cuts across language, culture, whatever. It's a great way to take your work with you and going into a country or a place and to be able to show them what you've done. I used to do that in Afghanistan. I would take a stack of prints and I'd show the Afghans what I have done on previous trips. And it was such a kind of an icebreaker for them to be able to see that I was familiar with their culture. And I photographed people that they knew. And no, it's great. Yeah, no, photography is a universal language, no question.
It's incredible that you can take photographs, then take them back, and then that to break the ice or cross a communication in some way with people that you've maybe never met before. It's incredible. Observation is an instinct, a talent, or can it be learned and trained, do you think?
Well, I think most things in photography can be learned, whether it's composition or learning about light or relating with people, timing, whatever. I think a lot of it can be learned. I do think there's some people who have an innate sense of balance and harmony and a sense of shape and composition. Some people have more of an artistic eye than others. So I do think that it can be learned to a point.
Yeah.
But I do think that some people are more gifted than others. So I feel that by practice, looking at other photographs by people who I respect, I think I've learned a lot about the different aspects of making a picture.
Yeah. I think it would be a really great moment to talk about some of your photographs, and what I would like to do as part of a special Unframed segment is to ask you about some photographs that you've taken recently, why they're memorable and what they are basically.
Well, I go back to Myanmar. I like to refer to it as Burma. I think that is a better ring. But I've been going back there 20, 30 times over the last couple decades. There's one place in particular in Mandalay, which I find myself being drawn back to over and over again. It's a workshop. It's a brass statue workshop, and they make brass Buddhas. And for some reason, I keep going back over and over again. They construct these enormous, different sizes and whatnot. But there's all these workmen with torches and hammers and chisels and all that, making these statues. And I'd like to show you a couple of these. They're just workmen in this workshop, and they have different body parts. They have hands and heads and whatnot. And for some reason, I've just been fascinated and inspired to go back there over and over again, maybe 20 times.
Why do you think you are inspired to go back?
I love working in Buddhist cultures, first of all. So places like Tibet, Sri Lanka, Thailand, Laos, Nepal, parts of Nepal. These are places which I find myself going back to a lot.
Yeah.
It's something, I don't know, the culture, the way they worship or celebrate their religion. It's just something which I'm really drawn to.
Yeah.
So hence the workshops and the painting, the sculptures, and wood carving, all that.
Yeah.
It just fascinates me.
Is it the same workshop every single time, or different ones?
There's about a half a dozen workshops that I kind of go back and forth.
Do you know them well now?
Yeah. Absolutely, yeah. And there's marble carving shops. So there's a whole array. Wood shops as well. So yeah, it's a bit of everything.
That's so interesting. I think it's interesting to look at not just people, but what they're making, what they're doing, what they're interested in. It comes back to that idea of humanity and documenting, which is so at the core of what you do. Moving from your first black and white photography to color photography with the legendary Kodachrome, what did that unlock for you? I know we're kind of far away from that now, but what did it unlock?
Well, Kodachrome was a great film. It was probably the best film ever made. And the longevity of it, the archival quality of it, pictures I made back in the 60s are still vibrant and held up very well over those many years. So that was one thing. But there's also the color palette was really wonderful, kind of soft. It wasn't too garish or over the top. So it was a great film, but it was a very slow film. You needed a lot of light. Unlike today with digital, especially the Leica camera that I've been using, you can shoot in very dark situations.
Yeah.
Kodachrome, you once it got sort of towards dark in the afternoon, you had to go to a tripod, and you couldn't really work in very low light without lights or a tripod. Whereas today, you can hand hold in low light and still stop action. So it's a very different. But Kodachrome was an amazing film. I have literally hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of thousands of pictures on Kodachrome.
That's so incredible. Where did you get them developed when you were traveling?
The place where we got them developed was in in Chicago, New York. Then there was a place in Washington. I had a couple rolls developed in Switzerland. I had one or two rolls developed in India, but it was a very difficult film to develop. The chemistry was very complicated. So it was done in like Chicago, I think.
Did you send them back, or would you physically carry?
Both.
I
used to air freight film all the time by DHL, by FedEx, by some other couriers. I spent a lot of thousands of rolls.
Hoping and praying it gets there and doesn't get lost on the way. Yeah. Looking at how you immerse yourself into situations, how does that allow you to capture something more or something different in your photography, fully immersing yourself, whether it's in the water, in the monsoons, or going and being with people? How does that help with something different?
How does it help being in these extreme situations, you think?
Yeah, or immersing yourself fully into an environment rather than just watching from the peripheral.
Oh, well, I've spent a lot of time in the monsoon in South Asia. When I first started working on this project, I was very tentative about how to approach. And I thought, okay, well, I'm going to get a big umbrella and I'll stand under the umbrella and I'll shoot from, So I did that. And then there was a flood and I thought, well, okay, maybe I'll get a boat. So I was in this boat and I couldn't quite get into position. And then I thought, well, let me get some fishing waders. So I got these fishing waders that came almost up to my chest. But that didn't work either because the water, when I got really in the deep water, would fill up the boots. So I decided the only way to really get into this story and to really immerse myself in it was to be in the water with everybody else, meaning that you were in this really filthy, disgusting, unmentionable, dirty water. It was just terrible. But everybody else was in the water, and that's where I had to be to get the right pictures. So I spent days all day long in water up to my chest, photographing people that were in these flood areas. So that worked pretty well, having to really jump in, with both feet.
Did you find that was a learning lesson that then you went on and implemented into your approach in general?
Well, Robert Capa said, if your pictures aren't good enough, you're not close enough, meaning that you need to really get close. You can think about it emotionally or in a war situation where you got to get close to the action, but you need to get into the game and be close to what's happening. And in the case of this extreme weather, this monsoon, you really had to be fully committed. And, I had this giant umbrella, which often didn't work. But it was, you had to really immerse yourself in that story.
Yeah. Do you study in detail the places you're going to shoot, or do you prefer a certain level of surprise when you get there?
Well, I don't like to waste my time, so I do like some level of preparation. I like to get there and kind of know. But then I don't want to prepare too much, because then you're usually disappointed that you're expecting certain things and they don't turn out. So I like to be prepared to a point, but I also like to be open for surprises and unexpected and that sort of thing. If I placed up too much as preconceived ideas, then invariably I'm disappointed.
Yeah. Do you think you get the best photographs by those surprising moments rather than anything prepared?
Well, I like the serendipitous moment. I like to walk around and see things and discover things and not be kind of encumbered. It's kind of spontaneous. I like to work. I like just to be there and then happen across things, and not have it be so scripted.
Yeah.
That the surprises, the unexpected, are the things that produce really interesting pictures, I think.
Yeah. Just talking a little bit about your archive, I know that you say that you print a lot. What is your process like with your archive, and how do you preserve your work?
Well, the good thing about digital now is that everything's remains intact. You back it up, a few times. In the film days, especially with film, you'd go through a roll of film, you'd take pictures out, move them around, and so the roll of film got disconnected. Sometimes you sent film off and it never came back. But I scan. Everything's numbered. Everything has a unique number. The film is not all of it's scanned, but the pictures I want to work with, they're scanned. They have numbers. They're all on a search engine.
Yeah.
So of course the digital is all there and all the shoots are, organized. So we can find pretty much everything's keyworded. Yeah. So I'm looking for a monsoon picture. I can put in, monsoon, man, flood, India, and probably the picture will pop up.
Incredible.
So being organized pays serious dividends.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. Have you always been like that?
No. Back in the film days, it was trying to find pictures. It's like, where's it? You're trying to, it was a challenge to say the least. But now I've spent a lot of time getting those film pictures in sleeves and scanned, keyworded, organized. Everything has a unique number.
Yeah, incredible. Do you find that revisiting those moments
every day
is important?
I look through my archive, maybe not every day, but multiple times a week. I'm looking through shoots that I did sometimes 30, 40 years ago.
Yeah. And
looking for something, going back with fresh eyes and looking over that material and seeing things which I had not seen originally. That's always kind of fun to find pictures which you missed, or they take on a sort of a historical importance after 40 years.
Yeah.
And that's fun to do that.
Do you find that it triggers maybe for you to revisit places or memories to go back to places?
Well, I go back to places all the time, and you're invariably disappointed because you remember how things used to be, and sometimes you've romanticized it in your brain, and you remember a tree, and the tree's gone, and the signage, the way people dress, everything's sort of changed. But that's life, and you just have to kind of deal with it. But now I go back to the same place, like I said, talked about Burma. I go back, but things that used to be things are different. A lot of things coming from China, goods coming from China, which everybody wears the same clothes. But no, it's and a lot more tourists. You go to a place like Venice now, and you can't move.
Yeah.
It's just too many tourists,
Yeah. Italy is a place that you go back to as well. What is it about Italy that you love?
Well, Italy is kind of one-stop shopping for, all things, cultural and food and wine, the people, the landscape. It's just a really wonderful place to be.
Yeah.
So it's just whether you're working on vacation or whatever the reason, we're doing a workshop. I just find myself going back over and over again.
Yeah, beautiful country. I have to talk a little bit about the Leica SL. You have been shooting on the SL since the SL2. What has your experience with this camera system been over the years? Now we have the SL3. Yeah.
For me, it's very simple. My requirements for a camera. When I think of the SL series, the Leica SL series, what it does for me, the lenses are unmatched. And the functionality, the controls, the feel of the camera it's just right for me, and the color rendition is wonderful. So that's but the lenses really for me are the best. That for me, I could stop right there. For me, the lenses are what's the major point about the Leica and the SL series, and the color rendition of the lenses. So it's a wonderful camera, and it's the best camera I've ever used, actually. So yeah.
Aside from your camera, are there items that you always bring with you regardless of where you're going or what you're doing?
Well, there's nothing really special. I bring a couple souvenirs that my daughter gave me as kind of, charms. Bring a book, bring a computer, which I probably won't use because I'm too busy. But that's about it. I can't think of a couple good pairs of walking shoes.
Yeah.
And 2 or 3 pairs of sunglasses, some reading glasses, a lot of cards. I don't like to format cards when I'm in the field.
Yeah.
I will if I have to, but I try and keep all the cards as they were. I still back things up, but keep the cards unformatted. And I always carry like 3 cameras. Invariably, one sometimes, for whatever reason, goes down. So I always want to have a couple backups.
You like to keep it relatively simple in terms of what you're bringing when you travel, so you can literally just get up and go. Yeah,
when I'm on the street, I have 1 camera, 1 lens, some cards, and a couple batteries. That's it. No bag, no shoulder bag, no fanny pack, nothing. Just I do though. I usually work with an assistant if I'm in a. So I have the assistant carry whatever it is that I that is one of my things that I do. I confess to is to have the assistant.
The one luxury.
I mean, in the past I used to have a camera bag and a photo vest. I'd have 2 bodies, bunch of lenses, lots of film. No, but that's all. No, now it's very simple.
Like to keep it simple. Yeah. I'm really interested about your hunger for visual storytelling. Do you think that will ever be satiated?
I don't think I'll ever stop photographing. I can't imagine not doing what you love. I mean, it's like, why would you stop eating or breathing or whatever? I mean, it's just what we do. I mean, I think an artist that's something that nourishes your soul, and it's something which you just something which you have to do. It's not a question of wanting to. You just have to do it to keep your juices flowing.
Yeah, it's incredible. What experience of the world would you wish for the next generation?
Well, I think what I would wish for the world is that people would the climate change, protect wildlife, of course, human rights. That might be too much to ask, though. But I think that's I think protecting the environment, water, air, animals, and each other, and we have a long way to go.
Yeah,
a long way to go. And you wonder, I think we're still making forward progress, but I wish it was faster.
Yeah, absolutely. I wanted to ask you a couple of questions that we ask everyone in the podcast. So there's sort of a quick fire question process. So just go with whatever comes naturally. From today onwards, you can only shoot with one aperture. What would it be?
Probably 5.6.
I like it. Decisive. If your camera could talk, what would it say about you?
It would say, this guy's working way too hard for his age. Got to slow down, man. Smell the roses.
Which photograph of yours changed the way you see photography?
Well, I photographed early in my career, I photographed the man asleep on the street in front of a furniture store. And in the window was this beautiful sofa. And he was lying right under the sofa. And it was this two worlds, this homeless man asleep on the street. And in the picture window was this beautiful living room set, and with these kind of two worlds. And I thought, that's really amazing, that this sort of the coincidence of this homeless man just asleep in that particular spot in that perfect location. And I thought, well, this is great to be able to see it, be able to photograph it. And that was fun. I think that helped.
If you could go back to the first time you picked up a camera, what would you say to yourself?
I would say to myself, shoot more pictures, shoot in the in-between moments. Don't just wait for the peak situation, but just shoot your daily life. Shoot your daily life and not wait for some amazing moment here or there, but just shoot everyday, ordinary life. I think that's what I would.
Yeah. Do you have a photographer on your radar that you think deserves more attention, or that you just want to highlight and talk about?
Well, there's an Italian photographer who I keep pushing him to do a book because he's a really wonderful street photographer. But he just is so resistant. I keep saying, you got to do it, man. Just do it. His name is Erlo. And he's a really wonderful photographer. But he needs to just make the leap. Just jump in. Don't be shy, man. Just go for it. And what's the worst thing that can happen?
Yeah.
I think there'd be a lot of support for his work in the form of a book. So yeah, that's my I've told him that though for years. He's never listened to me.
Well, he's got to do it now.
Yeah. He's on it right now. Yeah,
It's done. Thank you so much for being here and talking to me. It's been an absolute honor to speak to you, Steve. So thank you
very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.